What's going on, guys? I just wanted to show you guys something real cool. This little flash stick right here pretty much has my entire arcade childhood gaming experience all in this little thumb drive. And I know there's a lot of different ways to play arcade games and Super Nintendo games and things like that, like with RetroPie or whatnot. However, that being said, the reason I wanted to share this is that this is actually really cool. One of the main things I like about it is the front end is super slick, which I'm about to show you. It's probably one of the most polished front ends I've ever seen. And two, it is just so simple. Um, it's truly plug and play. It is probably the epitome of plug and play. There's nothing you need to install on your computer. It's already pre-configured for Xbox One and Xbox 360 controllers. You could connect an Xbox One controller through Bluetooth to your computer, or if you have a wired Xbox 360 controller like I have here, this Rock Candy wired 360 controller. Everything is pre-configured. You don't have to do anything to it. You just plug this little stick in, double click on the executable file, and it's ready to go. So let me just show you real quick. And I just wanted to show you this to show you that there's nothing installed on my computer. Now when I plug this in, as you see there, now you see the coin ops open up. I'll just click on this. Here's the executable file. Just double click that and wait. It takes roughly about 10 seconds to load, give or take. And it's just really cool looking. All the games are already there. These are, let's just take a look real quick. Now, the arcade games over here, oh, sorry. Oops. All right, this right here, arcade, this is pretty much every arcade game you can imagine. Things you've played, things you haven't played. I mean, it's ridiculous the amount of games that are on here. Now in here is also included the Neo Geo collection too, because most of those were actually played in the arcade. Nobody could really afford to buy a Neo Geo system back in the day because it was like $800 and each game was like $150. But it has this really good looking scrolling wheel, background art. Every time you pick on a game, a different video of the game kind of shows up. And let's just get into one. Here we go, like some Neo Geo games. You just go ahead and do that. Press A on your Xbox controller. How you doing? Give it a couple seconds to load. And there we are. It's got really cool looking bezels, because most monitors are widescreen. So I mean, all these games are really done in 4:3 aspect ratio. Press select for the coin button, and there it is. Now when we get out of here, you press select and start at the same time. Now arcade classics, this is a more refined arcade list. So with arcade being everything that you've ever played and then some, things you've never even heard of, most of the stuff on the arcade classics, you've probably played it in the arcade. I mean, there's going to be a couple that I even haven't played, but I remember all these games. Let's go to some of the more popular ones. Here we go, Contra. Who hasn't played Contra? Really cool looking bezels on that. And this is the arcade version, not the, obviously, Super Nintendo, so the graphics are going to be better. All right, let's go through some of the other stuff real quick. But like I said, you name it, if you played it in the arcade, it's on here. All right, next, you have from what I can tell, every single Sega Genesis game ever made. There's nothing on here that I haven't played. Well, I take that back. I mean, there's things on here I haven't played, but I can't find a game that I've played that's not on here. Next, you got some Super Nintendo games. Same thing. The whole thing just looks super slick. All your Atari 2600s, a whole bunch of Game Boy Advance games. I haven't played Game Boy Advance too much, but I know there are some good games on here, like the Castlevanias are really good. The Metroids are awesome. Nintendo Entertainment System. I mean, you're going to have your classics on here like Contra, Castlevania, Zeldas, whatnot. Pac-Man. So pretty much every single Pac-Man game ever made, it's on here as well. Let me just try and get back a little bit. Now, PopCap games. This is something more like my wife would play. She really loves Peggle a lot. But these are really casual puzzle type games. Not really my cup of tea, but I'm sure the missus would like it. You got PSP Minis. Now, these aren't the full-blown PSP games, but these are like the little things you could have bought from the Sony store on the PSP. Games for Windows. This is going to be like your point-and-click adventures. There's a couple of them on here. They actually look pretty cool. I'm probably going to check some of those out. And some settings, and there we are, back to arcade. The biggest collection on here by far is going to be arcade. It's got, from what I could tell, the complete MAME set plus Neo Geo thrown in here. And there's actually a Neo Geo game on here that I've never even seen in the arcades. I didn't even know existed. But there's this really cool game I played as a kid called Cross Swords. And there's Cross Swords 2 on here, which I've never played. So I'm kind of really interested in checking that out. Wow, I'm still in B. Yeah. So you can go through the list like pressing up or down, and it'll go game by game, or you could press like your right bumper and it skips by letter. So, like I said, really just super, super easy to use. Anybody could do it. Like it, you know, it's really portable. I've plugged this into my laptop and plugged my laptop to my TV and played it on a 65-inch with my wireless Xbox One controller hooked up through Bluetooth. Bring these over to my friends' houses. We could just sit down and play a bunch of two-player games like Street Fighter or what have you. So I just kind of wanted to show this off real quick. Sorry if it was a little long-winded, but it is super cool. And it's probably the most cost-effective way to actually play all these old arcade games. Because, I mean, the only stipulation is you pretty much got to be running a Windows 10 computer, but it doesn't even need to be powerful. Like the computer that I'm running this on, it's, I believe, like an i3 with no dedicated graphics card. So, yeah. Yep. Really simple and really cool. And thought you guys wanted to check it out. Thanks, guys.